Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive.
Yes, welcome back.
Today we're going to be talking about something that honestly affects us like all day, every day,
Absolutely.
and that is our blood sugar.
Our blood sugar levels, yeah.
I think a lot of people maybe think of blood sugar and they're like, oh, that's just for, people with diabetes or whatever.
Right.
But it's like so important for all of us.
It really is. It's fundamental.
Yeah, to have,
Yeah.
stable energy and just our mood and
Everything long-term health,
yeah.
it's a basis for so much.
Yeah, and what we're going to be talking about today is all these hidden ways that our morning routine might be like really messing with our blood sugar.
Right. And you don't even realize it half the time.
Yeah, exactly. And we've looked into the research and like expert analysis and all that stuff.
Absolutely. There's some great information out there.
So we're going to be sharing kind of the top things that we found and how you can make some simple changes to really get your blood sugar in check.
Yeah. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, so let's dive in. One of the things that I think a lot of people do or have considered doing in the morning is actually skipping breakfast.
Yeah, it's a pretty common one,
Yeah, right.
especially these days.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. Like, why is that maybe not the best idea when it comes to blood sugar?
Well, I think a lot of people think of it as a good strategy,
Yeah.
right? You're trying to, cut calories. Maybe you're trying intermittent fasting.
Yeah, lose a little weight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to blood sugar, it can actually kind of backfire
Okay, interesting.
because after a night, without food,
Yeah, we've been fasting for a while.
yeah, you need to refuel.
Yeah.
And if you go too long without eating in the morning, it sends a signal to your liver
Okay.
to start releasing stored glucose.
Mm-hmm.
So you might end up actually with higher blood sugar levels later in the day, even before you've eaten anything.
So you're saying that like that feeling of like I'm starving in the morning,
Yeah.
that could actually be like your blood sugar's already like
Yeah, it's a sign that things are a little off.
okay. And it's not just that initial rise though, right? Like doesn't it also affect like our stress response and stuff too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Prolonged fasting in the morning, that can increase cortisol. That stress hormone we talk about.
Oh yeah.
And elevated cortisol contributes even further to higher blood glucose.
Wow.
And over time, it can even reduce your body's sensitivity to insulin.
And I think maybe just as a quick like side note here,
Yeah.
for those of us who are not scientists, like what is insulin sensitivity exactly?
Okay, so basically it's how well your body's cells respond to insulin
Gotcha.
and take up sugar from your blood.
Okay.
So higher sensitivity is good. That means your body can manage the blood sugar effectively. Lower sensitivity means your body has to work harder
Gotcha.
to manage the sugar.
Okay, so that makes sense. So basically skipping breakfast not only triggers this like glucose release, but it can also make our bodies like less efficient at dealing with the sugar later on.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that's a pretty compelling reason I think to reconsider skipping breakfast.
I think so.
But now okay, so let's say we do eat breakfast.
Okay.
What we're choosing to eat can also be a major culprit.
Absolutely.
Right, and we're talking about carbohydrates here.
Carbs, right.
Right. So talk to us about that. Like, what are some of the common kind of breakfast foods that people are eating that are maybe like sending their blood sugar on this like roller coaster ride?
I mean, you look at like the typical Western breakfast,
Yeah.
it's a lot of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So we're talking, cereals,
Right.
even the ones that are marketed as like healthy.
Right.
Often they have tons of added sugar in them.
Yeah.
Pastries, muffins, bagels.
Yeah.
Oh, and then juices,
Yeah.
smoothies,
Oh, yeah.
even smoothies.
Yeah.
If they don't have enough protein and healthy fats to balance it out.
Yeah. You think it's healthy and it's like all sugar.
Right, exactly. And then we can't forget, toast with jam or honey
Oh.
or flavored yogurts, hidden sugars.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's like a minefield of sugar.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens when we do this? Like, we have this like, carbohydrate overload first thing in the morning. What's going on in our bodies?
Well, you get that really rapid increase in blood sugar,
Okay.
and then it's followed by a pretty rapid drop as well. So it leaves you feeling hungry again pretty quickly,
yeah.
often kind of irritable, and then you're craving more carbohydrate.
Right. Got to get that energy back up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So instead of reaching for the bagel or the sugary cereal,
Right.
what should we be having? What should we be aiming for?
So you want to create a balanced meal.
Right. Yeah.
You want to make sure you include protein and healthy fats in your breakfast
Okay.
because those nutrients help slow down digestion and absorption of glucose.
Okay.
So you get more of a gradual and sustained release of energy.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And you feel fuller for longer,
Yeah.
which helps keep your blood sugar stable.
Perfect. So we're thinking like eggs with some vegetables,
Exactly.
Greek yogurt with some nuts and berries.
Love that one, yeah.
Really emphasizing the nuts there.
Yeah,
Okay?
good fats, good fats.
Or like a protein smoothie, maybe with some avocado in it, and keeping the fruit like,
A little lower, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Those are great options.
All right, so let's move on to another very common morning ritual for many people.
Okay.
And that is coffee.
Coffee, oh yeah. I can't live without my coffee.
I know, me too. It's like,
It's the morning starter.
yeah, and it's like so many people are, they need their coffee to get going in the morning.
Right.
But it turns out this can also have like a less than ideal impact on our blood sugar.
Unfortunately,
Ugh.
yeah. There's a few things to watch out for.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So coffee itself, like plain black coffee,
Yeah.
it might not be inherently bad for blood sugar.
Okay.
Some research even suggests potential benefits for insulin sensitivity,
Interesting.
but it's often how and when we consume it that can lead to problems.
Okay, so let's hear it. What's the first coffee-related issue we should be aware of?
Okay, so first thing is drinking coffee first thing in the morning on an empty stomach.
Oh, okay.
That's a big one.
So like literally before anything else.
Yeah, just rolling out of bed
Yeah.
and reaching for that coffee.
Yeah, okay.
So what happens is the caffeine stimulates the production of cortisol.
Okay, we've heard about this before.
Yeah, and as we talked about, higher cortisol levels can increase blood glucose.
Okay.
And on top of that, the acidity of coffee can be problematic for some people's digestive systems.
Right.
And then you get that caffeine jolt without any food, and sometimes that can amplify feelings of anxiety and jitters.
Oh, I've definitely felt that, like where you're just like,
Yeah, shaky.
yeah, shaky and like
Yeah.
not a good feeling.
Not the best way to start the day.
Yeah, and I know that the way a lot of us drink coffee can also add another layer to this.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
This is where coffee can go from being like a relatively neutral beverage
Yeah.
to a significant blood sugar disruptor.
Okay, tell us about that.
We're talking about adding things like flavored creamers,
Mm-hmm.
which often are loaded with corn syrup,
Mm.
unhealthy hydrogenated oils,
All right.
regular sugar or honey,
Mm-hmm.
and then those flavored syrups.
Oh, so good.
So good, but
Yeah, but
you might be surprised to learn that just a single pump of some of those flavored syrups can contain over 20 grams of sugar.
20 grams, that's a huge amount of sugar.
It's a lot.
And it's so easy to just like, not even think about it,
Yeah.
especially if you're like ordering out or whatever.
Totally. I know, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
You just get in the habit,
Yeah.
and you don't think about how much is actually going in there.
So you're saying like a fancy coffee drink could have more sugar than like a candy bar?
Easily.
Wow. Okay, so being mindful of those sugary additions is huge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, but what about the timing of our coffee intake? So like when we have it in relation to when we eat.
So that's another important piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
So consuming large amounts of caffeine within about an hour of eating can actually interfere with how your body metabolizes glucose.
Okay.
So it can temporarily decrease your body's sensitivity to insulin,
Gotcha.
which then leads to a higher blood sugar response to the food you eat.
Okay, so it's like compounding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so the key takeaway here is maybe hold off on that like elaborate latte
Right.
until after you've had your balanced breakfast.
Much better strategy.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's broaden our view a little bit and talk about some other morning routine habits that can impact our blood sugar.
Okay.
It's not just about food and drinks, right?
No.
Let
no.
it all.
It's the whole how we approach our mornings thing.
Right.
So let's think about the common morning stress rush.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever experienced that?
Are you kidding me? Like every day,
Right.
hit that snooze button one too many times,
I know.
and then you're just like scrambling to get ready.
You're rushing.
Oh, it's the worst.
It is.
Yeah.
And that feeling of being rushed and under pressure, it comes with a physiological response. So when you're stressed, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline.
Right.
And as we talked about with skipping breakfast and coffee on an empty stomach,
Mm-hmm.
those hormones trigger the release of glucose from your liver,
Right.
raising your blood sugar, even if you haven't consumed any food.
Wow. So even if you're like, having a healthy breakfast, but you're starting your day in this like state of chaos,
Right.
it's still going to have a negative impact.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. So that's a good reminder to try and build in some more like breathing room into the mornings.
Absolutely. Give yourself time.
Yeah. What about what we do before we even get out of bed?
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking about our phones.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Didn't taste.
So tempting, right? To just like reach for it,
Yeah.
check emails, news, social media, all that stuff.
I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Like, how does that play into blood sugar?
So it can contribute to increased stress hormones.
Oh,
You start seeing all these things coming at you.
yeah, the news these days is like,
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah.
it might lead you to delay or rush your breakfast.
Right. You get caught up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it definitely takes away from the opportunity to eat mindfully.
Right.
And then on top of that, the blue light emitted from screens,
Mm-hmm.
that can interfere with your body's natural morning rhythm,
Yeah.
which then has ripple effects on hormone regulation,
Wow.
including the ones involved in blood sugar control.
It's like our phones are setting us up for this blood sugar roller coaster.
It's like they're working against us.
Yeah, before we even get out of bed.
Right. Wow. Okay. And speaking of rhythms, I know that sleep is like so fundamental to our overall health.
Absolutely.
So how does the amount and quality of our sleep tie into our morning blood sugar levels?
It's critical for healthy glucose regulation.
Okay.
When you consistently don't get enough sleep, or if you're waking up too early and feeling sleep deprived,
Yeah.
it disrupts several key metabolic processes.
Oh, okay.
So it reduces your body's sensitivity to insulin.
Uh-huh.
It can increase hunger hormones.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, so you're craving more sugary and processed food.
Right.
And it elevates those stress hormones we've been talking about.
Oh, so it's like all connected.
It's all connected.
Wow.
And actually, research has shown that even just one night of insufficient sleep can lead to a significant reduction in insulin sensitivity, like 25% or more.
25%? That's a lot.
It's a big impact.
Wow. Okay, so prioritizing sleep is not just about feeling rested. It's like directly influencing how our body handles glucose.
Exactly.
Okay. And then finally, let's touch on something very basic.
Okay.
And that is hydration.
Oh, yes. Very important.
I know I'm often guilty of this where I'm like, I need my coffee.
I know, I get it.
And I don't even think about water.
Right, it's like the first instinct.
Yeah. So tell us about that. Like, how does that play into blood sugar?
So starting your day with coffee instead of water, it can present a few issues.
Okay.
So overnight, your body naturally becomes somewhat dehydrated,
Okay.
which can actually lead to more concentrated blood sugar levels.
Okay.
It can also impair the function of insulin, slow down your metabolism,
Okay.
and worsen that feeling of morning fatigue,
Oh.
which then, ironically, a lot of people try to combat by reaching for sugary drinks or snacks.
So it's like a double whammy.
It is.
The dehydration affects blood sugar, and then you're more likely to make bad food choices because you're tired.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so we've uncovered quite a few hidden ways that our morning habits can impact our blood sugar.
We have.
That was a lot of information.
It was a lot.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about solutions.
Okay, let's do it.
So what are some practical things that we can do to have a more blood sugar-friendly morning routine?
All right, so it really comes down to making a few small strategic adjustments.
Okay, I like that.
So first and foremost, prioritize hydration.
Okay,
Make a conscious effort to drink a full glass of water before you have anything else,
before the coffee.
even before the coffee.
Okay, got it.
Second, incorporate a little movement. You don't need a strenuous workout or anything,
No.
but even 5 minutes of gentle stretching or a short walk can make a difference,
Okay,
just to kind of activate your muscles.
yeah.
Improve glucose uptake.
Okay.
Third, aim for a balanced breakfast.
Uh-huh.
That includes a good source of protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbohydrates.
Okay.
Steer clear of those sugary cereals and pastries.
Yeah.
And then fourth, be mindful of your coffee timing.
Okay.
So consider having it with or after your breakfast
Yeah,
rather than on an empty stomach.
makes sense.
Yeah. And then finally, work on managing morning stress.
Okay.
So building in an extra, 10, 15 minutes to your routine
Yeah.
can help you avoid that frantic rush.
Right. That just makes me like stressed thinking about it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so those are really practical things that I think we can all do.
Right. Small changes, big impact.
I love that. Okay, now you mentioned earlier about the possibility of additional support,
Okay.
specifically the supplement GlucoTrust.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. So for individuals who are looking for extra support in managing their blood sugar levels, alongside these lifestyle adjustments,
Right.
GlucoTrust is a natural supplement option.
Okay.
So it's formulated with a combination of ingredients that are intended to support healthy glucose balance,
Uh-huh.
promote better insulin sensitivity,
Okay.
help reduce cravings for sugary foods,
Oh, that's a good one.
right,
Yeah.
and even contribute to improved sleep quality,
Oh, wow.
which, as we've discussed, has a big connection to blood sugar regulation.
Yeah. So it seems like it's working on like multiple levels.
Right, it's kind of attacking it from all sides.
Okay. And it's designed to work in a different way compared to like, conventional pharmaceutical approaches, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So GlucoTrust is formulated to work with your body's natural mechanisms
Okay.
to encourage healthy blood sugar balance over time,
Gotcha.
rather than directly lowering blood sugar through medication.
Okay. That's an important distinction.
It is.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the key ingredients in GlucoTrust
Right.
and like what they do.
So one of the notable ingredients is Gymnema sylvestre,
Okay.
which has been traditionally used and studied for its potential to help reduce the absorption of sugar in the gut.
Oh, wow.
And it may also support the pancreas in producing more insulin.
Okay.
Then there's biotin,
Mm-hmm.
which is an essential B vitamin that plays a vital role in the metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins,
Okay.
all of which have an impact on blood sugar levels.
Gotcha.
Chromium is another key mineral known for its potential to enhance insulin sensitivity,
Okay.
so helping your body to use glucose more effectively.
Oh, okay.
And then manganese is also included in the formula,
Mm.
which supports both the production of insulin and the effective utilization of glucose.
Okay, so we're seeing this like pattern here with all these ingredients
Yeah.
that are like really targeting insulin function and like healthy metabolism.
Yeah, they're all kind of working together to optimize that system.
Yeah, okay, cool. What else is in there?
So we also have cinnamon.
Oh, I love cinnamon.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And it's been researched for its potential to improve insulin sensitivity
Okay.
and contribute to lower fasting blood sugar levels.
Okay, cool.
Licorice root contains compounds that some studies suggest may also be helpful in managing blood sugar.
Okay.
And then finally, we have juniper berries,
Okay.
which are included for their rich antioxidant content,
Uh-huh.
which contributes to overall cellular health and well-being.
Cool. So it's like a really well-rounded formula.
Yeah, it really
That's
is.
addressing a lot of different aspects of blood sugar.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Okay, so I think we've learned a lot today.
We have. It's been a good deep dive.
Yeah. And I think the main takeaway is that these like seemingly small choices that we make in the morning can really have this huge effect on our blood sugar.
They really can. It's amazing.
And the good news is that by implementing a few changes,
Right.
like being aware of what we're having for breakfast, our coffee habits, all that stuff, we can really set ourselves up for success
Absolutely.
and, having more energy, better focus.
And just overall better health long term.
Yeah. And it's not just about avoiding certain health conditions. It's about like optimizing our well-being.
It is. It's about feeling your best every day.
Yeah. Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
So take a moment and think about your typical morning routine.
Yeah, visualize it.
And what's one, maybe two small changes that you could realistically put into practice starting tomorrow?
Yeah, what's one little thing you could tweak
Yeah.
that would make a difference?
To better support your blood sugar.
Exactly.
And remember that even these seemingly minor shifts can really accumulate.
And over time.
Yeah, and make a big difference.
A big difference.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.